people like Gautam Buddha and Jesus Christ, they have attained moksha without a living master, without following a living master, it is said. I believe you're also self-realized. And the question is, if you don't have a living master, what does it take to become self-realized and ultimately liberated from the cycle of birth and death without a living master? What does it take?
A living master.
But not everybody has the the path to a living. I mean, I find myself.
But it appears that it's not for everyone, because living masters or realized disciples are not produced in batches and semesters like graduation students and all. It can't be. But the people are trying to do it. You see, people in the new contemporary world, they want the whole humanity to be enlightened at once. There is going to come a time, but there'll still be a little forward and backward, because nature is nature. Nature works, doesn't work mechanically. Nature works naturally, and those who make the natural effort get the results. This is important. So the master, the Sadguru, is like a magnet, a magnetic pole. It's in the center. The disciples are like iron filings. They move round and round. Now, as soon as they come into the field within the magnet, there is a magnetic field also which forms. But when iron filings come to a magnet, I think beyond the field they go straight to the magnet. Am I right? There's no field. So the disciples are like iron filings. When they come in the magnetic field of the magnet, they are pulled in and they get the Sadguru. So if your effort is not sincere, that itself is a sieve. It's a screening process, that the people who are not ready are thrown to the side. You know, like women I've seen in the chawal, the hash or the kankad in the chawal they throw out.
The husk.
Because it's not been made a shankar as yet. And then they husk, they throw out and take the chawal and they do all these things. So also there's a weaning and cleaning and screening process for the disciple till he meets the Sadguru. And when he meets the Sadguru, then he gives the spark of evolution. And then the journey of the disciple begins.
Wonderful. I really like that analogy of the magnet and the iron filings.
Yes.
It's kind of literally drawn to the center of the magnet. So next question for me is one around Shiva. What is Shiva, and how does the Shiva principle differ from that of Vishnu and Brahma in terms of human life? So I know the Trinity, I know that Shiva is the transformer, the destroyer, and Brahma is the creator and Vishnu is the sustainer. But I mean, in terms of the principle, because Shiva there's a principle there, and I'm wondering how it differs ultimately from the other two.
So, what is Shiva? What is not Shiva? Shiva is everywhere. Shiva is nowhere, and Shiva is now here. This is how we describe him, because it's utterly impossible to describe the indescribable, the incomprehensible. But whatever we can in our limited way, which she's asking, we will try to speak in a simple way. That you see, first is the creator of creation, who is called Brahma, the creator. Okay? So when he begins creation, the great sound of the Omkar comes and creation comes into being. The second aspect of the same being is Vishnu, the preserver, the pervader, the preserver and organizer. He sets whole creation into an organized manner, and is Vasudev, the resident of the hearts of every human being, plant and tree and stone. He resides in the heart. And the third is the destroyer, but that is wrong to call him the destroyer. If you take a limited function of Shiva, even as far as our humanity is concerned, I call him the Sangharak Taranhar. Means he is the destroyer and redeemer at the same time. Now what does he destroy and what does he redeem? So Shiva is so beautiful in his function that he destroys the ego. He cracks the shell of your ego and lets the spiritual essence through, and redeems the spirit. He destroys the ego and redeems the soul. This is the work of Shiva. He is the destroyer of the ego and redeemer of the soul. He is the Samharak Taranhar.
And hence, coming back to your earlier point about the magnet and the iron filings, that, you said, we joked about it, where you said, when I asked, what do you need? How can you become realized without a living master? You said a living master. But I think the point that you're making is that, in fact, with sincere, committed, dedicated practice and a deep desire to want to know a deeper essence of who you truly are, then you have all of these things starting to come into the picture. So you kind of activate that the qualities of Shiva, destroying the ego, breaking it down so that you can actually give rise to something higher and see a little bit of a higher nature within yourself.
Okay, the question was very long, like an answer, but I'm going to answer this in one wave. It will answer the question, it may not answer the question, but it's very necessary for me to say this, that by saying that you need a living master to be self-realized, I don't mean that people will not be realized. Those who don't have a living master, they will also be realized, those who don't have a living master, because it's a process of evolution. So they can keep practicing without a teacher or without a master, they will still progress. Then they get a teacher, they'll still progress. Then they'll get the living Sadguru, they will still progress. But their progress, when they reach a particular echelon, a particular dimension in their evolution, the teacher will come. Then they keep practicing with the teacher. Then when they reach a particular point in their evolution, the Sadguru will come. So they come because this is already divined in creation, that the master appeareth at the right time. So when your spiritual magnetism is that much, you will attract the Sadguru who is to bless you and progress you. You get it? So others need not get discouraged. Even you can always make a start. You don't have a guru, make a start. Start with Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Then Guru will come and give you some pranayam, then do that. Then the Sadguru will give you some other techniques. So keep doing it. There's always a positive. Because even the little plants and trees and stones are evolving, because the whole waft and weft of humanity is ever evolving to that great spirituality, that great supreme reality. But the degree of evolution differs with the techniques and the inner motivation of the individual.